Only about 1% of people achieve financial freedom. And it's not because they were born rich or got lucky. It's because they see their salary as a tool for growth, not just a way to pay bills. The change begins with mindset. Most people don't realize it, but financial freedom isn't about luck, inheritance, or winning the lottery. It starts long before money shows up. It begins in the mind, that's right, in the way we think. While the majority works all month just waiting for the next paycheck, already stressed with bills, debts, and expenses, there's a small minority who thinks differently. That small group sees their salary as a means, not the end. They don't view their paycheck as a reward to be spent. They see it as the first brick in a much bigger structure. It's like planting a seed. Those who understand this start planting carefully, even if it's just a little, because they know that with time and discipline that money can grow and flourish. These people think beyond, how do I get through the month? They ask themselves, how can I make this money work for me? How can I turn it into future freedom? And that's the difference, because it's not about how much you earn now. It's about how you see what you earn. Those who achieve financial freedom aren't the ones who have the most, but the ones who make the best use of what they have. This mindset shift is what separates the 99% who just survive from the 1% who build wealth. It's not magic, it's vision, and that vision is available to anyone, including you. A scarcity mindset is one of the greatest enemies of financial freedom. Small actions, like cutting unnecessary expenses or saving just $10 a month, can create a solid foundation over time. Scarcity is sneaky. It whispers in your ear, you'll never make it, everything's too expensive, there's never enough, investing is only for the rich. And without realizing it, you start believing those whispers. You live on the edge, thinking there's no way out. But the truth is, change doesn't start with a giant leap. It starts with small steps. Small, but consistent. Imagine this. You save just $10 a month. Sounds like nothing, right? But in a year, that's $120. In 2 years, $240. And if that money is invested, even in simple ways, it starts to grow, bit by bit, like a little plant being watered with discipline. More important than the amount is the habit. Cut that weekly delivery you don't need. Swap an expensive activity for something simpler once in a while. Cancel that service you never use. These are simple choices, but they open up room to build something much bigger. Financial freedom isn't about luck. It's about daily choices. And even if you're just getting started, even if it feels slow, remember, every dollar you save today is a brick in the foundation of your future. Having a high salary doesn't guarantee wealth. Eduardo, who earns a lot, is deep in debt, trying to maintain a luxurious lifestyle. Felipe, with a modest salary, is getting richer by controlling his expenses and investing wisely. The secret lies in managing money, not just earning it. Eduardo always had a great salary. He bought the latest car, moved into a fancy apartment, traveled often, and surrounded himself with status. But behind the scenes, there was a problem. He was spending more than he earned. His credit cards were maxed out, loans were piling up, and financial peace, that had vanished a long time ago. On the other side was Felipe, a simple guy, earning much less, but with a completely different mindset. Instead of trying to look rich, he focused on becoming rich. He tracked his expenses, avoided waste, and used part of what he earned to invest. No flashy lifestyle, but a solid future was being built. While Eduardo struggled to keep up appearances, Felipe was planting seeds that would one day bear fruit. This comparison reveals a harsh but freeing truth. What you do with money matters more than how much you make. A high income poorly managed is like water leaking from a bucket full of holes. But a modest income, well managed, can grow into real wealth. It's not about big numbers in your bank account, it's about smart decisions. The 30% rule taught by Kiyosaki: set aside 10% of your salary for savings, 10% for investments, and 10% for personal development, like courses and books. Even if you start with less, the key is building the habit. There's a simple, practical, and powerful rule that can transform your financial life. The 30% rule. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that you can't just spend everything you earn. You need to plant what you receive, and plant it in 3 different fields. First, set aside 10% for savings. This money is your safety net. It's what protects you in emergencies. It's your peace of mind when life throws a curveball. Then put 10% into investments. This is where your money begins to work for you. Whether it's stocks, real estate, mutual funds, or even a small business, the key is to get that money moving. And the final 10%, invest it in yourself. Yes, you are your greatest asset. Buy books, take courses, learn new skills. Growing your mind and abilities will reward you far more than any salary increase, because knowledge creates opportunities, and opportunities create wealth. Maybe you're thinking, but I can't set aside 30% right now. That's okay. Start with what you can, even if it's just $1 a week. What matters isn't the amount. It's the habit. Those who learn to save a little are preparing to manage a lot. This rule is simple but powerful, and it's accessible to anyone, including you. Start building assets. Things that put money in your pocket, like dividend-paying stocks, rental properties, or digital products. These generate passive income over time. Eventually you realize, if you want to escape the endless cycle of work, pay, repeat, you'll need more than just a good salary. You'll need assets. So what are assets? Simple. They're things that put money in your pocket, even when you're not working. While a new car drains your money, insurance, maintenance, gas, a rental property does the opposite. It pays you monthly. That's an asset. Dividend-paying stocks, digital products you create once and sell over and over, monetized content channels, royalties, machines that work while you sleep. All of these are assets, and the more assets you have, the less dependent you are on your time. The magic of financial freedom begins here, when you wake up and realize you made money while you were sleeping. Sounds like a dream. It's not, but it takes effort to build. Start with what's within your reach. A small real estate investment trust, REIT share, a simple ebook, a course teaching something you already know. What matters is taking the first step, because as long as you're trading time for money, you'll always have a ceiling. But once assets come into play, the sky becomes the limit. Assets grow like a snowball. As you reinvest the returns, your money multiplies. That's how you reach freedom without relying solely on work. Picture this: a snowball rolling down a mountain. It starts small but grows bigger with every turn. That's exactly how asset growth works. In the beginning, the returns seem small. You buy a stock and get just a few cents in dividends. Rent out a property and the profit is tight. Sell a digital product and celebrate your first sales. But here's the secret most people miss: reinvest what you earn. Instead of spending those early profits, you replant them. Buy more stocks, create more products, invest in more knowledge. Little by little, your income increases, the snowball gets bigger, and one day it starts rolling on its own. At that point, something magical happens. You stop working just for money, and money starts working for you. That's where freedom is born, when your assets generate enough income to cover your expenses, when you can choose to work because you want to, not because you have to. And it all started with small steps, with mindset, with discipline, with the decision not to waste what you had, even if it was little. That's the power of financial building. It's not about winning the lottery, it's about planting and multiplying, one brick at a time, one seed at a time. The key is consistency. It's not about doing a lot all at once, but doing a little all the time. Those who act with discipline, even with little, build far more than those waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. Many people wait for the right time to begin. They say they'll invest when there's money left over, they'll save when they earn more, they'll learn when they have time. And just like that, months go by, years go by, and nothing changes. The truth is, the ideal moment almost never comes. Life always throws something unexpected your way. There's always another bill, an emergency, a distraction. That's why those who succeed aren't the ones who do a lot once in a while. They're the ones who do a little every single day. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. It's like a long staircase. You don't climb 2 steps at a time by jumping. You go one by one with balance. 1 step today, another tomorrow. And before you realize it, you've climbed out of the basement of debt and are standing on the rooftop of freedom. Even if today you can only save $1, even if you only have time to watch 1 video or read 1 page, even if your initial investment seems too small, keep going, because those who walk consistently go farther than those who only sprint on weekends. The biggest financial mistake is living to impress others. When you spend money to look rich, you move further away from true wealth. Trading status for strategy is the beginning of the shift. This might be the most silent and most expensive mistake many people make, living to show off. Buying the most expensive phone, the newest car, brand name clothes, going on trips they can barely afford, all just to maintain an image. But here's a hard truth. Those who feel the need to prove they're rich usually aren't. While many spend to appear successful, true wealth builders are doing the opposite. They live below their means. They invest in what others can't see. They have more money than show. It's like the classic iceberg analogy. What's visible is small. What's hidden is what supports everything. In financial life, those who trade the sparkle of the moment for the quiet building of wealth pull ahead. Trading status for strategy isn't stepping back. It's stepping up. It's leaving the game of appearances and entering the game of freedom. Those who understand this stop chasing approval and start chasing independence. Avoid bad debt. Long-term loans, impulse purchases on credit, and excessive credit card use can sabotage years of progress. Uncontrolled debt is an anchor dragging you backward. Imagine you're trying to row toward financial freedom with effort, focus, and consistency. But tied to your boat is a giant anchor called bad debt. And the harder you row, the more it pulls you back. That's what unnecessary loans, endless installments, and reckless credit card use do to you. They may seem small at first, but they grow like a snowball. Except, unlike assets, this one crushes you. Each installment, each accumulating interest, not only makes you pay more than you should, it also robs you of the chance to invest, grow, and breathe. The solution? Education and control. Before financing anything, ask yourself, is this urgent or just a desire? Do I really need to buy it now, or can I wait and pay in full? Is this instant pleasure worth sacrificing my future? Good debts exist, the ones that finance assets, businesses, and personal growth. But most people get tangled in bad debt, created out of impulse, status, or poor planning. And remember, the problem isn't the credit card, it's how you use it. When credit controls you, freedom disappears. But when you control credit, it can even work in your favor. Know your numbers, track everything. What comes in, what goes out, and where your money goes. What isn't measured can't be improved. Those who control their numbers control their destiny. Many people avoid looking at their finances like it's something scary. They'd rather not see, not write it down, not face it. But that's the problem. If you don't know where your money is going, how will you know where to cut, where to improve, where to invest? Tracking your expenses might seem annoying at first, but it's liberating. You begin to notice patterns that used to go unnoticed. That snack that becomes a habit, that subscription you no longer use, those small purchases that add up to a big hole. And the most important part, you start to gain clarity. Clarity brings control, and control brings power. You don't need to be a spreadsheet expert. A notebook, an app, or even a note on your phone is enough. What matters is writing it down. Every dollar counts. And when you clearly see where your money is going, it's like turning on the light in a dark room. Everything starts to make sense. Those who master their numbers master their choices, and those who master their choices begin to build their own future, instead of drifting like most people do. Learn to separate needs from wants. Many people spend as if everything were essential, but those who learn to say no to what doesn't add value make room to invest in what truly matters. This is one of the most crucial, yet often overlooked, points in financial education. And do you know why? Because we live in a culture that constantly encourages consumption. We're bombarded with ads, notifications, and storefronts convincing us that we need more. But stop for a second and ask yourself, do you really need that new phone model, that new outfit for the weekend party, that gourmet coffee every morning on your way to work? There's a very thin line between what is a need and what is simply a want. And crossing that line without realizing it is what drags many people into debt, anxiety, and stagnation. Needs are what sustain your life: food, housing, transport, health, education. Wants are what decorate your life, and there's nothing wrong with having them, but it must be done with balance. The problem starts when wants replace priorities. When you spend more on vanity than on freedom, when the desire of the moment outweighs your long-term goals. Those who learn to say no to a want today are saying yes to something bigger tomorrow. And this isn't about living a life of deprivation. It's about living with intention, with awareness, understanding that every dollar spent is a choice, and that every choice brings you closer to, or further from, your financial freedom. When you look at something and ask, does this really add value to my life? And choose wisely, you begin to take control. And those who control their impulses build a much stronger future than those who live on autopilot. Financial freedom isn't a destination, it's a daily construction. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built through small habits repeated over time. Like planting a tree, you water it every day, even before the fruit appears. Many people give up halfway because they believe financial freedom is a distant, almost unreachable finish line. They think it's something only for millionaires, experienced investors, or people who've had a big breakthrough in life. But that idea is a myth. The truth is, financial freedom isn't a place you just arrive at. It's built step by step, choice by choice, day after day. Think of it like a tree. When you plant the seed, nothing seems to happen for weeks, but you keep watering, keep caring, you trust the process, until one day it sprouts, it grows, and eventually it offers shade and fruit. Money works the same way. You start by tracking your expenses, saving a little each month, making more conscious choices, avoiding debt, learning about investing, creating extra sources of income. At first, it feels small, almost insignificant, but over time, the results begin to appear. That's the power of habits. Every month you invest, learn, grow, and stay focused, you're building your freedom. And the most amazing part? This freedom doesn't have to take decades. It comes in stages. When you pay off a debt, build an emergency fund, or watch your money grow on its own. Each milestone is already a small victory, but it all depends on consistency. It's much more about persistence than speed. It's about continuing even when it feels slow, because those who plant today with discipline harvest tomorrow with peace of mind. It's not easy, but it's possible. And the best part, it's in your hands. Invest in knowledge. Most people spend more on entertainment than on learning, but those who choose to learn grow. A good book, an online course, or the right mentor can be worth more than years of hard work. This might be one of the most overlooked and yet most valuable lessons. In a world full of constant distractions, many choose instant fun over long-term growth. Streaming subscriptions, frequent outings, new gadgets, games, trendy clothes, none of these are wrong. But when they take up most of your budget and attention, something is out of balance. Because here's a simple truth. What you learn today can completely change your financial future in just a few years. A good book can open your eyes to something you never considered. An online course can teach you a new skill that becomes extra income. A conversation with someone more experienced can prevent you from making mistakes that would cost you years. Robert Kiyosaki, Warren Buffett, and many other great financial minds always repeat, invest in yourself before anything else. Because knowledge is the only asset no one can take from you. It doesn't lose value. In fact, the more you use it, the more it grows. And it doesn't have to be expensive. Today, with the internet, there's an abundance of free or affordable content. What's missing isn't money, it's priority. Think about it. If you dedicate just 30 minutes a day to learning about finances, business, investing, productivity, or personal growth, your tomorrow self will be much stronger than your today self. Those who learn, prosper. Those who evolve, win. Those who invest in what's between their ears build lasting, solid wealth. Wealth isn't about having lots of money. It's about having time, choices, and peace. There's no point in having a full bank account if you're constantly stressed, have no time for family, or feel stuck in a job you hate. This is one of the biggest misconceptions people have. They think being rich means having millions in the bank, luxury cars in the garage, mansions, and exotic vacations. But real wealth goes far beyond that. True wealth is being able to have lunch calmly with the ones you love. It's not depending on your next paycheck to cover the bills. It's sleeping peacefully without the burden of debt. It's being able to choose where you want to work, or even if you want to work at all. Imagine being able to say no to an offer that doesn't make sense, simply because you have the freedom to choose. Or taking an afternoon off to go to the doctor, rest, or pick up your kids from school without the fear of losing your job. That's freedom. And that freedom doesn't come from excess. It comes from balance. Because there's no point in having a luxurious life on the outside if on the inside you're constantly running, anxious, with no time and no peace. A full bank account and an empty mind won't make anyone happy. That's why building wealth is more than just accumulating money. It's about organizing your life so money stops being a source of stress and starts becoming a tool for peace. When you build a solid foundation with healthy financial habits, control, investments, and assets, your money starts working for you, and you start living with more lightness. Wealth is freedom, and freedom is living with time, choice, and purpose. It all starts with a decision to stop just surviving and start building. It doesn't matter where you are now. What matters is where you want to go. With discipline, knowledge, and action, financial freedom stops being a dream and becomes a plan. If you've made it this far, you've already taken the first step, because the real starting point isn't your salary or bank statement, it's your mindset. It's the moment you decide you're done living on autopilot, just paying bills and waiting for the month to end. It's when you say, enough. Enough of just surviving, enough of postponing your life. From now on, every choice has purpose. Every dollar has a direction. Every small habit becomes a step. You don't need a lot to start. You just need to start with what you have. Even if things aren't ideal right now, even if there's debt, challenges, or limitations, remember, freedom doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency. Every day is a new opportunity to turn things around, to learn a bit more, to spend a bit less, to invest, to save, to say no to what's unnecessary and yes to your future. Those who plant with patience harvest with abundance. Those who act with intention build with strength. Now tell me, what will be your first action after this video? If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it too. and subscribe to the channel for more tips that truly make a difference. Your freedom begins today.